15. Right? So I see in here, I have some answers. Some people are saying B. So let's see if EC is 250 and US is 1, right? EC20 will be what? Well, I could find for one EC to be 1 over 2.5, right? And therefore 20 EC will be 1 over 2.5 multiplied by 20, or 20 over 2.5. Now remember, I don't have a calculator, yeah? And because these are paper one questions, so you don't have a calculator, you could use reasoning for this. I could say, well, you know what? 20 divided by 2 is 10. So if I raise the denominator a little bit, it'll probably decrease this answer a little bit, you know? And so it'll be a little less than 10. It'll be safe enough for me to say B. And if we did it in a calculator, 20 divided by 2.5, sure enough, you will see B. Number 16. The simple interest. Well, guess what? It only have one thing I know about simple interest, and that is principal by rate by time over 100. That is all that the curriculum does require me to know. That is all I care to know, right? Seeing that simple interest is evil after all, and we're dealing with devil thing. So the simple interest on this. So this will be the principal for T years, that is the time. At 5%, that is the rate. Per annum is. The simple interest is. So this is the simple interest. And they want the value of T. So simple interest is this. The principal is 600. The rate is 5. The time is T all over 100. And so you could see here, even though I could stretch this all the way out, yeah, your algebra knowledge should tell you 120. Well, you could throw across the 100. So 120 multiplied by 100. Well, guess what? A is the only thing that could give me 120 multiplied by 100. I don't even need to do anything else, right? But you'll see you'll have 600 multiplied by 5 multiplied by T. You could throw the 600 multiplied by 5 across, and so T will indeed give you 100 times 120 divided by 600 multiplied by 5. Yeah, Brianna, you have a question? Question? Yes, all right, no problem. Yes, Sarah. Oh, Sarah, you have a question? Or did you just raise your hand from before?
Sorry, sir, I was from before.
No problem. Right. So I don't know. I've seen some people have D here. Tony, do you understand how I got this? Let me know how you're feeling about this.
Yes, sir, I understand.
All right, you understand it, right? Yeah. And the trick in this question, and like all simple interest questions, is identifying who is principal, who is time, who is rate, who is simple interest. Yeah. The simple interest is, so that means this is your simple interest, 120. Nice. So you had to make T the subject of the formula. So you see how, you wouldn't, in your exam, you will not get a question on subject of the formula. No, you'll get a question on simple interest, and you're going to have to make something the subject of the formula. So that is why subject of the formula, that is a skill that you have to have. Transposition is a skill. All right? I have these two here. All right, so we're dealing with more evil. I guess we're studying evil in this class. That's where it is get when you try to create your own maths in hire purchase, right? A television set costs $350 cash. So I will write down my information so that I don't have to read the question over and over. Write down your information. When bought on hire purchase, the deposit of $35. So hire purchase or Harry Potter is $35. Followed by 12 monthly payments of $30. How much is saved by paying cash? So 12 trees are 36, so that is 360 plus 35. I don't have a calculator, remember, so I have 395 is the higher purchase price. And if I minus the cash price, 350, you could see that $40 is saved if you are rich enough to pay cash. But if you're not rich and if you're poor and you can't pay the 350, you're gonna have to pay more.
It's supposed to be 45.
Oh yes, 40. Oh my goodness, look how I made that. Yes. Thank you very much, Sarah. Yes, I'm so sorry. I just went 9 minus 5 is 4, and I didn't even bother with the 5 minus 0. Yes, it's 45. And look how they was ready for me. Look how they was ready for me. So that goes to show these other answers are not just random answers. They will anticipate the mistakes you will make. Yeah, so the answer is D. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Sarah. I would have got that wrong real dotish. Yeah, well, that's what we call a careless mistake. I know I could depend on you.
Yes, Lynn.
All right. Yes, I know I could depend on you. Tom bought a pen for $30 and sold it to gain 20% on the cost price. So how much money did he gain? So he bought the pen for $30, right? So $30, this is the cost price. And he sold it to gain 20%. So the selling price is 120% in this case, right? We want the selling price. So if 100% is 30, then 1% could be 30 over 100, and then 120% will be 30 over 100 multiplied by 120. 12 trees are $36 is what he did it for. Anybody knows an easier way we could work that for? Remember, profit percentage is the profit, which is 20% profit, over the cost price multiplied by 100. I guess we didn't know the profit, so you couldn't really use the profit percentage. Maybe you could, I don't know. But in here, the selling price would have represented 120. That is if the cost price is 100%. Because he made 20% profit on the 100%, so you could treat it like that.
So they say how much money did he gain? So what does it be, $6?
Yes, I did not read the question. Look how I getting these things wrong. You see, let me slow down. How much money did he gain? So he did make $36, you see, and they was ready for me again. Thank you very much, Sarah. They was ready for me again. Oh my God, and I imagine I recording this class and again these questions wrong, but oh my gosh. The Saturday evening, yes, how much money did he gain? He gained the $6 and they was ready for me. Look at that. That is why, you see this is the reason why the paper 1 is the hardest paper. Right? The paper 2 is actually easy. You can make marks on, little workings and all them kind of thing. All right, let me slow down. Right? A dinner at a restaurant was advertised at $60 plus 18% tax. The total bill for this dinner. Well, first I'll have to find what is 18% of $60? So I have 18 times 6. Yes, I use my calculator, right? 6 eights are 48, and then 1 6 is 6, and 4 is 10, all over 10. So that means that I had to pay $10.80 tax. So if you add the $60 plus the $10.80 tax, I'm paying $70.80 for this thing with tax. All right, let me slow down. A store offers a discount of 10%, all right, to the customers who spend more than $20, all right? If a customer's bill was $80, so $80 was the total bill, what did he actually pay? So that means he gained a 10% discount. All right. The question is, what did he actually pay? What will he actually pay? So a 10% discount will mean that he will get a discount of $8, right? They should have put 8 here, man. Right? They miss out on that opportunity, yeah? So that means that if he paid $80 and he got a discount of $8, he would have made $72 is what he would have had to pay, right? If the simple interest, well, the only thing I know about simple interest, I just know one thing. Simple interest is principal by rate by time over 100. That's literally the only thing I know. If the simple interest on $800, so that had to be the principal, for 3 years, T, that is time, is, if the simple interest is, you see how they like to bring this compound question, right, Tony? Right? So this is your simple interest, right? If the simple interest is $60, what is the rate? So I have the simple interest being $60. The principal is 800 times the rate, which is R times T, which is 3, and I'll put the rate after, all over 100. I could actually cancel this with this. So you'll have 60 is equal to 8 3s are 24. R is equal to 60 divided by 24. I know 6, 10, 6 4s are 24. And then I'm trying to do it in my head. I hate mental maths. 5 and 2, which will give me about 2.5%. So you could see, because we have 15 to 21, that is usually the 5. So it's around 5 or 6 or even 7 consumer arithmetic questions. So there's a whole page of consumer arithmetic questions you'll get in your paper 1, right? So these are directly paper 1 questions. Miss Jones's taxable income is this. That's her taxable income. She pays tax at a rate of this, 20%. So she had to give the government 20% of that. The amount of income tax she pays, so not how much she carrying home, I just had to find 20% of how much she paying. 20% of 8400. I mean, I could cancel this with this. I could say 184 times 2, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16. 1 2 is 2 and 1 is 3, and then I could add that 0 onto it, and I'll get C. Alright, so the value of a plot of land is that, 18,000. Land tax, oh great. I set a rain just fall and it looked like sun coming out. So this place is about to get very miserable. Right? Land tax is charged. I had to remember a record in the class, so I shouldn't say these things. Land tax is charged at a rate of this per every 100. So if I have $18,000, all All right. How many hundreds do I have in 18,000? Right. I have 180 hundreds in 18,000. And so the tax is charged at a rate of this. Multiply by 0.70. Remember, I don't have a calculator. So this is where we did those first couple of classes when we did, remember, the long multiplication of decimals. And what did we say? Just multiply normal times 7. All right, so 7 times 0 is 0. 7 8s are 56. 1 7 is 7. 8 9 10 11 12. 1 2 6 0. Right? So 1 2 6 0. Then count how much decimal places. Do I count 1 or do I count 2? I think I should count 2. Let me use my calculator and just make sure. 18 multiplied by 0. I know it's just 1. You just had to count 1. Remember, the decimal place, zeros, any amount of zeros after the last digit does not matter. So you just have to count the 1 decimal place. Yeah. So you count how much decimal places you have, but just remember, this would have teeth up my head, I might have get this wrong. Let me see if they would have catch me. They would not catch me though. I would have get 126. At the end of any year, a car is worth 5% less than it was worth at the beginning of the year. If a certain car was worth $10,000 at the beginning of 2014, then its value at the end would be 5% less. So I'll find 5%. No. Oh, come on. Of 10,000. So that and that is $500. Oh, come on, bro. That means that 5% less will be the 10,000 minus the 500, which is 9,500B. I really hope this recording don't stop on me, I don't think it will. A man bought and sold a mobile phone for $800 and sold it. He bought a mobile phone for $800 and sold it for $1,000. What was his profit as a percentage? So he bought it for $800. He sold it for $1,000. So therefore his profit is $200 profit. Remember, profit percentage is the profit over the original price, which is the cost price, always, right? So that means that, where's that, 25%? My boy make 25% profit. Suzanne bought a calculator for $120. She had to pay a sales tax of 10% on that price. How much change would she receive from $140? Look at that question. And people just want to make me do work and hurt my head, yes? 10 over 100 multiply by 120 over 1. I'm finding 10% of the cost here. So that is 12, $12. So she have to pay, therefore she pays 120 plus 12. So this is 132 is how much she pays, and how much change she would get from 140 minus 132 is she would get $8 change. A. The simple interest, well, I only know one thing about simple interest is principal by rate by time over 100. That's all I know. On a loan of, that is the principal, for, that is the time, was the simple, you see they changed their language a little bit. The simple interest was this time, but this is simple interest. They want to know what was the rate. So the simple interest was $900. The principal was 6,000. The time was 3, all over 100. And of course you had the rate on this side here. So I will do that. 6 threes are 18. 180, 900. So 180 times R is 900. R, the rate, will be 900 divided by 180. So R will be 10 over 2, which is 5. Damn, 10 over 2 was the hardest thing for me. That make my brain stick, imagine that. I was doing the rest good and I stick for 10 over 2, you know. Address, which costs $180, is being sold at a discount of 10%. The amount of the discount is, so 10% of 180. That is all. I didn't even really need to do all of that. You could have just 10%, you could have just moved the decimal place by 1 and you'll get $18 was the discount. I'll just leave it there for Titi. If 7,000, I'm feeling another simple, yeah, look, simple interest here. So there's only one thing I know about simple interest. This is the only thing, yeah, apart from it being evil. All right, so this is the principal, is borrowed at a rate, that is the rate of 5% per annum for, this is the time, 3 years. Now they want to know the simple interest is. So finally, a simple interest question, we're actually finding simple interest. That's wonderful. 7,000 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3 all over 100. So simple interest will be, the 100 will cancel with that. 5 threes are 15. So I could go 15 times 7, or I could go 7 fives are 35 times 3. Which one do you think I should do? 35 times 3? So 5 threes are 15. 3 threes are 9 and 1 is 10. $105. Look, they have it here. A.
Excuse sir.
I make
so
a mistake.
It's to be 70 by 5 by 3, so you just had to add an x0 to the answer.
70. Look at that. Look, they catch me. You see how they catch me? Because I went and I gone 7 fives are 35 times 3, and I forget about the 0. Oh my God. OMG. And they catch me too, Dread. Way. Yeah, let us be a good lesson to all you that when you feel you get it right, check again. Thank you very much, Sarah. Wow. And I recorded a video here, eh? So Sarah, you will be on the video, on the record, being my helper. That's amazing. A man's annual salary is that. His tax-free allowance is that. So that means he getting paid 45,000, and his tax-free allowance. So they're not going to tax him on this 13. So how much will he actually be taxed on? 2, 3. So this is the taxable, right? He pays tax of 30. What? This man living in Sweden or what? Anyways, Trinidad is 30%. He pays tax of 35% on his taxable income, the taxable payable is the tax payable. They want the tax. So they want the 35% of 32,000. No calculators. So that means I had to multiply, and I'll try to remember to add my zero this time. I'll multiply 35 by 30 plus 2. Alright, I'm multiplying 35 by 32. So 5 3s are 15, and 3 3s are 9, and 1 is 10, 105, and I had to add the 0 there. Right? Plus 5 2s are 10, and 3 2s are 6, and 1 is 7. So that is 0, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, this is not one of them. So that's 0 plus 1 is 1, and this is 1. So I got what I just did, 35 multiplied by 30 plus 2. That is 1120, and then I just had to add this 0 to it to get 11,1200 in tax is what he had to pay. So imagine, you get paid 45,000. You're feeling nice. Well, all right. The government say, well, you could keep 13. All right. But that means that out of this, we taxing you 3,200, and out of this, he had to pay 11,200 in tax. And the next question would be, well, how much is he actually carrying home, right? The table below shows the cost price, selling price, and profit or loss as a percentage. And somebody passing with like a loudspeaker. Just give me a second, let this person pass. Bad day to be recording a class. All right, the table below shows the cost price, the selling price, the profit or loss. So cost price, selling price, profit or loss, right? Copy and complete the table. Insert the missing values 1 and 2. So I had to find this, So this is the cost price, this is the selling price. So obviously less than the cost price. So this was a loss percentage. So I had to find the percentage profit or loss, not just the profit or loss, right? So for number 1, the cost price is greater than the selling price. So that means 55 minus 44. This person lost $11. That is a loss, right? So it's $11 lost there. And so that means that I have to take the loss to find the loss percentage. I have to take the loss, which is $11, all over the cost price, always the original value. Just remember the original value. That is multiplied by 100 over 1. So 11 over 55 is 1 over 5. Is it? Multiplied by 100 over 1, which is 20%? No. 5 into 5, 1. 5 into 4 is, 5 2s, So we have a 20% loss here. And you can see we have over here 25% profit. So the selling price was $100. So we're talking about number 2 here now. I'll try to write a little neater. Let me try to remember myself. I'm recording a video, write neater. Alright. So for number 2 here now, the selling price is $100. And that represents a 25% profit. So remember that selling price will have the 100% cost price plus the 20% profit. That is what the selling price is. So the selling price, we could say, oh no, not 20, 25, sorry. Yeah, 25 over here. So the selling price is 125%. So I could say 125% is $100. 1% is 100 over 125. 100%, which is the cost price, is 100 over 125 multiplied by 100, which is, yay, I could use my calculator. $80. Yes, and all of these, and the good thing about these consumer arithmetic questions is you could get a sense of if it looking rightish or if it looking wrongish. And this definitely looks rightish. The table below shows some rates of exchange. So 1 US is 2.7 EC, 1 TT is 0.4 EC. Calculate the value of 1 EC in TT dollars. So if 0.4 EC is 1 TT, then 1 EC will be 1 divided by 0.4 TT. Which is $2.50. So this first one here will be $2.50 TT. Let me know if I'm making any mistakes there. US in EC, 80 US in EC. So part 2 over here, this is part 1. So 1 US is equal to 2.7 EC. 80 US will be 2.7 times 80, which is 216 EC. And then part 3, which is the 3-mark question. I'm just trying to find my little spaces here to do it in. 648 TT in US. So I have 648 TT. I'll have to convert that to EC. And then I'll have to convert the EC to US. So 1 TT is 0.4 EC. 648 TT will be 0.4 times 648, which is 259 EC. And then I'm gonna come across on this side and say, well, 2.7 EC is 1 US. So 1 EC will be 1 over 2.7 US, and 259.2 EC will be 1 over 2.7 multiplied by 259.2, or you could say 259.2 divided by 2.7 is 96 US dollars. The cash price of a laptop is this. It can be bought on a hire purchase by making a deposit of this. So the so the cash price. You notice how I just do a question, eh? I do just read out a question whole. No, like if it's a paragraph, like if it's a book you're reading, I'll read a little piece and write down the information. So cash price is $12.99, right? The higher purchase price is $350 plus 10 monthly installments of $120 each. I'm not even gonna read the rest of the question. I'm gonna work that out one time. 350 plus brackets 10 times 120. I get 1550. Let me know if I'm making any errors, right? So the higher purchase price is 1550. We'll look at the difference there now. Punishing poor people again, right? What is the total higher purchase price of the laptop? Well, that is the total, so this is number one. Number two, how much is saved by buying the laptop for cash? Well, if you're rich and you can afford it, you will save money. How much will you save? $251. Thank you very much, Tony. I'll just leave it there for anybody. So these are what your higher purchase, sorry, not higher purchase. These are what the past paper questions for consumer arithmetic are like if paper 2. So number 1. Mrs. Jack bought 150 t-shirts at, for this, 1920. Therefore, one t-shirt would be costing 1920 divided by 150. Which is $12.80. So calculate the cost of one t-shirt. Number 1, done. Right? The t-shirts are sold at $19.99 each. So part 2. Calculate the amount of money Mrs. Jack received after selling all the t-shirts. So she sold the t-shirts. How much t-shirts it was? 150 t-shirts. So that'll be 150 times $19.99. $2,998.5. So this is the cost price for all the t-shirts. This is the selling price for all the t-shirts. This is the cost price for one t-shirt. And this here is the selling price for one t-shirt. The total profit made, so 3. Oh, come on, bro. Total profit. Right now, I'm overloading my CPU because I have Zoom running this call right now, and I have the so Zoom running the call. I have this program here open, and this program is a lot of memory. This program, right? And I have the classes recording right now. And I have this pen tablet thing that I using with this here. So right now I super overloading my CPU, right? Plus I have my Google open like an idiot. All right, so the profit will be 2,998.5 minus the cost price 1920. And so 10 78.50 profit. The profit made as a percentage of the cost price, giving your answer correct to the nearest whole number. So remember part 4, the profit percent is the profit over the original value, the cost price. So it'll be this profit over this cost price here, multiplied by 100 over 1. And so that will be 1078.5 divided by 1920 multiplied by 100.
56.17.
Right, so 56.17 to the nearest whole number is 56%. That's a hell of a profit though. Because after we moving on, Thomas invested this amount at 6% simple interest per annum. Calculate the interest in dollars earned after 6 months. Well, I only know one thing about simple interest, and that is principal by rate by time over 100. I know another thing though, that the time is supposed to be in years. So therefore, 6 months will be a half of a year, 0.5 years. And so the simple interest he would have made would be the principal, and I don't think it'll be much, multiply by the rate, multiply by the time, and this, I put 0.2, yes, my God, 0.5, and this here is a real important thing, because you would have put 6. Yeah, no, time is always in years, all over 100. Let's punch that in. Anybody want to do my calculator duty for me? Tony, you could do my calculator duty. You could be my calculator lady. Alicia, you could be my calculator lady. 1498 times 6 times 0.5 is equal to that divided by 100. Nobody. My boy made a simple interest of $44.94 after the first 6 months. The total amount of money in his account after 3 years. So I could calculate the interest after 3 years by going like this. A simple interest is equal to the principal by the rate by the time, which is 3 over 100. So the principal by the rate by the time divided by 100 is 269.64. This is after 3 years. Just now. So what's up with all of these loudspeakers on a Saturday evening, Red? What's up with that? Jeez. Gosh. So therefore, the total amount of money in his account will be the initial investment. Therefore, the total will be the initial investment, $14.98, plus the interest, $269.64. Which is $1767.64. How long will it be before his investment earns this amount? Well, this amount would be the interest. So the simple interest is this 449.4. Simple interest is principal 1498 times the rate, which is 6, times the time, which is what we want to know, over 100. So because I have no accenting, we could boil down all of this nice and easy. And I will just go with 1498 times 6 divided by 100 is 8988 multiplied by time, and so therefore the time will be 449.4 divided by 8988. So the time will be 5 years exactly. John's monthly electricity bill is based on the look, we have a electricity utilities one here now. So John's monthly electricity bill is based on the number of kilowatt hours of electricity that he consumes for that month. He is charged $5.10 per kilowatt of electricity. For the month of March 16, the 2 meter readings are displayed in the table below. This is the first meter reading at the beginning of March 3011. This is the second meter reading at the end of March. So for how much units, remember this is units, right? So how much kilowatt hours did he use? Calculate the total amount that John pays for electricity consumption for the month of March, right? So therefore, for the month of March, he used the 3307 minus the 3011. And he used 296 kilowatt hours. So remember, this was the amount of kilowatt hours that his meter was at for the beginning of March, and this is the end of March. So if you minus the 2, this is the amount that he will use for March. And then we have to take $5.10 per kilowatt hour. So therefore, he pays $5.10 multiplied by 296, which is $1,509.06. For the next month, April 2016, John pays. So for April, he would have paid 2351.10 of electricity consumption. Determine his meter reading at the end of April. So this is the meter reading at the beginning of April, the end of March, which is the beginning of April here. So what will his meter reading be at the end of April? So he used this amount divided by the $5.10, because it's $5.10 per kilowatt hour. So this here, 2351.10 divided by 5.1, he used 461 kilowatt hours. Yeah. So therefore, right, at the end March, the meter was reading 3307. And then during the month from the end of March to April, he used 461 kilowatt hours. So in April, at the end of April, right, the meter would be at 3768. A store is promoting a new mobile phone under 2 plans, Plan A or Plan B. The plans are advertised as shown in the table below. So I see in that both plans have a deposit. Both of them have a monthly installment. The number of months to repay. So you had to repay this monthly installment over 12 months. And you had to repay this monthly installment over 6 months. And the tax on all the payments. So the total payment here, right? You'll have to pay a tax on it, 0% tax here, but 5% tax on your total payment here. Calculate the total cost of the phone under Plan A. That's the first question. Determine which of the two plans is a better deal. So here what is the last question? The last question of the day. So I will let you guys tell me. So this is the one where I want to hear from earlier. Do you want to leave 4:30 or do you want to leave 5 o'clock? Yeah, it's up to you. I want to hear from everybody, please, just to make sure all your day. Which plan better, A or B? That is what I want to hear from you. Look at the two plans here. Which plan is better? By better, obviously, you would mean cheaper, right? So, put your answer in the chat. I am waiting for a certain undisclosed amount of answers before I correct the question. So, plan A. $400 deposit plus $65 over 12 months. And I have 0% tax. So that is it. So 400 plus 65 times 12. This work out to be 1180 for this plan. Plan B. I have plan B being $600 plus $80 over 6 months. And I just had to find what this is. So $600 plus 80 times 6. And I got this, I got 1080, but I have to pay 5% tax on this. So the tax, all right, somebody calling me there just now. I can't answer that call right now. The tax is $5, no, it's 5% of this. Which is $54. So therefore, the amount you had to pay will be 1080 plus 54. $1134. So we could definitely see here that even, plan B has a greater deposit. It have a greater amount per month. You have less months, yes, but they even charging you a tax. And even with all of that, you're still coming up better in plan B. So this here is number one. Calculate the total cost of the phone under plan A. This is number one. The total cost of the phone under plan A is that. This is number two. You had to find for plan B, and now you could say plan B is cheaper.